Hi everybody, it's me Ashley Brooke. For those of you guys who don't know me yet, I'm autistic, and I have two autistic children, and I had many challenges growing up. I still have some challenges today, but when I was younger, I would see they were disabling, and I don't like the word disabled, or disorder. However, when I was younger, I would consider it disabling because I was in a very unsafe environment and I was unable to speak. So I didn't start talking until I was 7, and then I stopped talking again from 10 to 11. So I was able to speak, and then I just all of a sudden just couldn't speak for like a year. So I had many challenges with speech. Even when I was talking, I still had trouble pronouncing words. I still have trouble today, which is why I overpronunciate, and I'm always grinding my teeth and doing certain things like that. I don't know why I do that. I think it has to do with weak muscle tone in my mouth and my tongue. I believe that it has something to do with that because my ears and my nose and my mouth, I know that I have always had issues with all three. When I was younger, I had to stop myself from doing it, but I would breathe like a little. I would breathe out, push out like a bull. All the time, my mom would call me a little bull and stuff like that, because it was so consistent, it was odd, and I think I was having trouble, maybe breathing, maybe that's why, for some reason, I always felt I couldn't breathe, through my nose. It just felt like it was kind of I don't know how to say it, pushing back, almost like pressure going the opposite way. I don't know how to describe it. But anyways, so I've had all these challenges, and when I left home when I was 12, it was because it was super abusive. I'm talking oh my god, consistently every day, every type of abuse, abuse in every sense of the word, consistently. I just couldn't take it anymore. It was so dangerous. And even though I had my challenges, I was smart enough to know that was dangerous. I was actually very aware because of the dysfunction. It allowed me to think for myself at an earlier age. Once I realized that I couldn't trust, what my environment was teaching me, it made me feel even more unsafe. And I just knew that I had to get out of there. And when I was younger, I didn't know. When I left, I didn't know if I can do it. I remember being really scared, and so scared that I was I remember talking to God, or and I was saying, I don't know if I could survive. I was almost like it was almost like a back and forth thing when I was talking to God, because it was I knew I had to go. I felt it that I had to leave. But I was so scared. I didn't want to. I was fighting myself because I knew what that entailed. Me leaving means I am going to have to, push through, because I needed to survive. I had to push through my challenges. I knew that I had challenges, and I was so afraid to even participate, to talk to people. My eye contact has always been really bad, and I just was so worried about all these things that would, stop me from being able to get the right help, or to even, what would I do? I just didn't know. And I had this, feeling it almost felt if I felt, I didn't hear it, but I felt it, if that makes any sense. It kind of, I always relate it to, some people, if you're on the spectrum, then you know what I'm saying, if you're autistic. Sometimes our sensories get crossed. When I hear sound, sometimes I feel physical pain, and so that's what it felt like when I felt like God was talking to me. He told me just to genuinely care. And so when I went out into the world, I just paid attention and was just very nice, and I made my way through, and a lot of doors opened up, and I was just nice, and I just, had gratitude for the people, that had helped me. But I was pushing. I knew that it came with it was kind of I knew that when I did that, when I left, I knew that even though doors opened up, even if people helped me, I knew that in order for them to want to keep me, to consider you're decent, or that would want me around, I'd have to push through these challenges. And I believe it was for the need for survival, the desperate need for survival. I didn't want to go back to my family's house because it was not really a family at all, After all the dysfunction and all the, when my father stopped preaching, everything just kind of went really bad, and it never got better. And then it became very unsafe. I just knew I couldn't go there. So I really pushed through. And I started, I had to ask myself, the things that I noticed that were awkward. I knew the things that were awkward because I always felt that in the areas that I knew that I needed work was because I would get, 1 second. Oh, I thought you were high. I didn't know you were at, Izzy. So the areas that I needed help in, I knew that I needed help because they're the ones that made me feel awkward, oh my god, it made me kind of feel frozen, very I guess we would say how when someone gets stage fright. I feel like I have stage fright when I'm having engaging people, and I notice that I have that challenge because I feel that stage fright feeling, So all those areas, I started to work on them. Somehow it just started coming to me. I started trying to push it, make myself a little bit more comfortable, pushing myself a little by little. And when eye contact, I used to sit in front of the mirror, and I would force myself to look at myself in the eyes, and that was hard to do. It was very hard to do, even to look at my own self in the eyes. And I would do that, and I would talk to myself because I had trouble pronouncing, and I would watch and pronounce every word to make sure that it was to kind of I guess remember the way my mouth moved to get it right, so I can hear it first. I was so not sure if I was saying things right, if it was coming out right. Sometimes I wasn't sure if I said that out loud. It was so strange. I think it came from not talking for a lot of my childhood, that sometimes I wasn't sure if I was saying something out loud. So I started to practice that in the mirror a lot. And with the talking too, I had to start pronouncing, and then with what is it let's see, practice. I would practice participating little by little. And hi, you look cute. My daughter. And I would even I have auditory processing delay disorder. Hold on, Izzy. I have auditory processing delay disorder, and I'm always going too fast. Then sometimes I'm hearing stuff, but it takes a minute for me to get it, to process. So I started doing this thing I would listen to music, and I would move my body to the sequence of the sound, kind of like a maestro would, and I believe, and I would do this in the mirror, and I believe this kind of helped me, and I would do balancing things. I had to stop twirling my fingers. I knew I had to stop rocking, because I knew they were not going to want me around if they started to see that more. So I started to really try to be always paying attention to myself, and it kind of gave me this shock, kind of after effects. To this day, I'm sometimes I look very I guess just stressed in the eyes, like if I'm stressed in my eyes, they look very serious, people always be looking at the psycho killer eyes, but I think it was just pushing myself outside my comfort zone so intensely with the fear that I would have to go back. I think it was kind of a little bit of trauma, maybe. Well, anyways, doing all these things, it kind of led me to realizing that I can overcome a lot of my challenges. And so I always say, I was going to title this Born to Be, because I found the strong me, and I feel like that's what we are